Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And one of the big questions going into CDL 2022 is exactly how OpTic Texas are going to fare this upcoming season. iLLeY in the in-game leadership role, how is that exactly going to work out? iLLeY has some thoughts on the matter, and also how long Scump potentially has left in his career. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do. Top the channel rich new people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Firstly, wanted to mention this from Crone. I thought this was really awesome to see. It took 3 years, 16,000 tweets, 90 or 190,000 followers, 1 billion tweet impressions, and hundreds of roster moves covered. But I finally did it, officially leaving my full-time job at 10 years, going full-time in esports with Esports on January the 3rd. Awesome to see. Crone, of course, has been covering roster moves in Call of Duty for a while now, since he started that Twitter account called, I don't know what it was called, like Cod Burner Intel or something, when the Cod Burner was going around in the World War II season. And pretty much all he would do is tweet out exactly what Cod Burner would type on the Reddit and stuff like this. And eventually the channel evolved, or the account evolved into covering roster moves in a more official capacity. Last season, he started to cover the moves officially with Esports as proper reporting and journalism in that sense. And now we find ourselves in this position where he's able to leave his full-time job, make a career out of this. So really cool to see, and good to see Crone still around, because I know he's been having these thoughts the last years or so. Obviously it's difficult to monetize on Twitter and doing tweets and stuff like this. Bit of a challenge, and he's kind of wondered, look, how long do I want to do this? Can I, afford to support my family in this way? And he's able to make it work. So really cool to see, and it's certainly great to see him here in a more full-time capacity, I suppose, going forwards. If it doesn't work out with Esports, I'm sure something will work out elsewhere, because Crone definitely the king of the roster leagues within the Call of Duty scene. Maybe he even expands elsewhere at some point, because he did that thing with Jacob Wolf, or at least it was like the Washington Justice article or whatever it was about the Washington spots, did that with Jacob Wolf. So Crone, big dog journalist now. We just absolutely love to see it. This also wanted to mention from the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost. You guys of course will know about the bomb glitch which happened at the start of this game, which was apparently fixed, where effectively when the bomb was being defused, you could see it said above the bomb, it's being defused. It's like, okay, how did nobody notice this? It took them a couple of weeks to fix this for some reason, but rumor has it might actually be back in some form or another. This apparently is a clip from public matches or something that went down very recently, I think, before the whole glitch was fixed. And as you can see, at about this point here on Oasis, the bomb is being defused, and you can see the red line moving around the bomb to kind of show the progress of the bomb being defused. Of course, the guy doesn't get to the bomb in time, it actually does get defused. But, still, this does beg the question as to whether this actually, is another bomb glitch potentially returning, where you can actually see the progress of the defuse bar by the opposition actually defusing the bomb. So, look, I don't know if this is public match specific, I don't know if this really can happen in competitive play or in the CDL rule set, but, still, maybe not the greatest sign at the end of the day. This also could be an old clip, but I don't really think it is, to be honest, just because it's not the bomb glitch that we know and love from the start of the title. This also I wanted to mention for Formal, I thought was kind of funny, just because Formal seems to be taking this Halo thing pretty seriously now, right? He's screwing with Space Station Gaming, and, they're getting things ready to go for their event, I imagine, in Raleigh, and, scrimming up against OpTic last night. So kind of crazy. OpTic Formal, he's still part of OpTic, of course, but he was actually practicing against the OpTic Halo team last night. They're, of course, pretty nasty, but, definitely looking forward to keeping my eyes on the progress of Formal and the guys he's teaming with at the Halo events going forward as well. Definitely some spicy stuff tends to happen in that scene, it seems, more than I would have imagined, I suppose, but I guess that scene's been kind of dead, really, for the last several years until Halo Infinite came out. So cool to see regardless. This then wanted to mention it from the iLLeY side of things. I thought this is funny, really, like this clip for a few days ago, because iLLeY managed to get his hoodie stained or something, so Hex gives him this kind of vest to wear or whatever. I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, there was some talk a week or so ago on the Eavesdrop podcast. They were talking about the possibilities for OpTic Texas going into this upcoming season, and exactly what OpTic fans should be expecting from iLLeY and the rest of the crew. Lots of questions really about how this team is going to operate. I think some of the big questions around Dashy, right, and all the work ethic stuff that we've discussed the last month or so, but also iLLeY's going to be effectively the in-game leader of this squad. Last year, Envoy was kind of tasked in a similar role, and iLLeY finds himself really in a pretty similar position. He's not going to be the main AR, he's going to be kind of the second AR, the flex on this team, you would imagine, with Scump and Shotzzy running those SMGs, and depending on what the meta turns out to be, right, a lot of the time now, you're seeing a lot of MP40s, but of course, patches and updates can change things, and it could be in a different spot. But Envoy last year was kind of in that role where he'd maybe make a lot of the calls in certain situations. Of course, look, the in-game leader is a shared responsibility to some degree within the rest of the team, but let's say you're going into a game via round 11, you need someone to make a play call in the game, someone's going to have to step up and take that pressure on their back. iLLeY says that's not going to be a problem, but he also goes on to talk about some other issues really within the team, just the fact that Scump has kind of been surprised, the fact that iLLeY has been grinding in the game just this much early on, that, Shotzzy and iLLeY, all they do is grind Call of Duty, and to be fair, Scump probably did that back in the day, but, definitely some impressive, I think Scump's relatively impressed at the amount of time these guys are putting in, and also talking about the guys like Clayster, Clayster, Crimsix and Clayster, 28, 29, almost 30 at this point is Clayster. He will be if he completes the entirety of the season playing for the subliners. And, how long does a guy like Scump, who's only 26, have left in his career? iLLeY and Hex reckon he's got at least 4 more years in him. He could be competing for a very long time to come still.
With that same sort of mentality, like how do you, because obviously somebody has to be the in-game leader, and I think that people for a very long time have sort of gravitated towards you because of, your demeanor and your approach to the game. Is that a lot of pressure for you?
I wouldn't say so. Just because, like, when we're grinding as a squad, like, I feel like we're all gonna get to like a point where if any 4 of us are like in that scenario, all 4 of us will make the same play. That's when like a team is elite, and like that's what happens like whenever like you're just like playing together and like all like on the same page, and like it just makes it like easier. And honestly, in-game leading, like how it is now is just like off like information, like off like what information you see like on the map. Like you're gonna have like the most knowledge to like make the play call. But in-game leading, there's I would say like I'm definitely gonna like I could step up, and I'm not really feeling the pressure.
No.
Okay,
good. Well, that's good. I like to hear that.
Well, like right now, I'm on like at the moment I'm just on the ultra grind. Like I wake up, play Call of Duty, and literally that's it, and just go to sleep. Even like Seth was saying like how he's mind blown, like that me and I do that. It's just like I don't know.
But you are 20 then. He was doing that.
He was doing that when he was 20. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I his mom, I've obviously known them for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Like the same thing, like they play nonstop, thing. Now, do you think that you play as much as you do because you're super good at it, or because you love it?
Honestly, probably just because I love it and I want to like win.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to it. When you're 29, still cracked.
Oh yeah, 100%. Do
you think Seth will be still playing?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, he's 26 now, so you think he's still got 4 years in him? I do.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
He got 4. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Little. You think so too, Maddie? Yeah, I think so too, man. Look, people like Clay, people like Crim, people that are in the older side of things are paving the way still to this day for they're showing people the possibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people down talk, Clay for whatever sometimes in rankings and all that.
Yeah.
But no one can dispute what he's done, not only for the scene, but what he's doing currently by showing people like you, younger people, that it's like, hey, age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So we've seen a lot of back and forth between these two fellas, right? And this has always been a question, like, why hasn't Scump kind of taken up that leadership role in that kind of capacity? I do generally think that, like, the leader probably should be someone who's playing at a slightly lower pace, or at least someone who's going to make a play call that if they're playing at a slightly slower pace, they're not like a super fast-paced SMG, then they can probably get a greater feel of what's going on in the entirety of the map, where their teammates are, and make some calls in that type of situation. iLLeY also a really smart, intelligent player. We certainly saw in this 1v4 a little bit ago now, like against New York. Like, this guy knows what he's doing, right? He knows how to make the call. So I think he'll work in that kind of in-game leader type role. Of course, it is kind of a shared responsibility now. It's not just someone who, makes the calls all the time, like maybe it was back in the day. You'd have to kind of, move things around a little bit depending on the situation. But still, the other question mark really about how long Scump is going to compete. That's the one I always find relatively interesting, right? People have talked about this for years. And, how long does Scump have left in the tank at this point? As long as he's still competing at a high level, as long as he's still competitive within the league and is still a great player, which he certainly was last year, I'm sure he will continue to be this year, then I don't really see Scump going anywhere, to be honest. It just depends on the passion, the drive, these type of questions. And if he's got a team around him, as it seems he does, that he enjoys teaming with, then, you would imagine things aren't going anywhere. As iLLeY says here just before, well, when the season really begins, when the game comes out, the grind / content this season is going to be absurd. That's certainly been the case so far. And that's, I suppose one of the more optimistic things that some people have about this OpTic team compared to last year is that a lot of people said that last year OpTic really weren't putting in the time they needed to. It's always been a thing with iLLeY and Shotzzy since they came into Call of Duty, and really, iLLeY obviously for several years in the Search and Destroy scene before he was even a professional player, just grinding all sorts of hours on the game, right? Just playing day and night. They just love Call of Duty to the next level. And of course, Shotzzy did it with Halo, now he's doing it with Call of Duty as well, putting in an insane amount of hours. And that's something which probably will spark the rest of the team to do a similar thing. Because last year there was some talk from Envoy that Dashy and, Formal's head probably wasn't fully in the game either. These kind of questions really raise the idea that maybe like OpTic weren't putting in the time they needed to last year, which I think is a lot of people would probably say that. Now, you know, just this work ethic really from iLLeY and Shotzzy probably is going to drag up the rest of the guys as well. And of course, if Scump still has many years in him and still competing at that high level, then of course that's a good sign really for everyone, because that's really been the concern, especially with the CDL in the state it is right now. I think a lot of people might say that it's going to take a couple of years of good decisions from the CDL to put the scene into the spot that we actually want it to be. A lot of problems a lot of people would say with the way everything is structured right now and some of the changes that are coming through, and you know, people aren't necessarily too happy with the spot that we find ourselves in, and understandably so. And of course, a lot of people would say, myself probably included, that the personalities are what is keeping this scene alive, right? You've got Crimsix, you've got Clayster, Scump, you know, some of the other OpTic guys, the likes of Octane, Slasher, you know, Doug Sense Martin even, right? These kind of guys. And you know, if it wasn't for them, if they all disappeared, then where does the scene go, to be honest? Like, it's tough to say that it has too much of a future. And well, as Scump says right here, back in 2020, what if I straight up never retire? So that's the thing. If Clayster can still prove that he can compete at a high level for a long period of time, and iLLeY is convinced that Scump, you know, at his level, he's still got many more years in him as well to compete. But it's an exciting prospect, I think, for Call of Duty fans in general. I just wanted to finish up with this from Shotzzy, to be honest, just because, I mean, this guy's obviously been playing a bit of Halo as well, Halo Infinite, because he said that, look, he's not going to go full in on Call of Duty until this third game mode comes out, and we don't really know when that's going to be. I think December the 8th is in, well, it's in a couple of days. That's when Season 1 comes out, so we maybe think we're going to get something along the lines then. I suppose we'll see on that front. But, I mean, yeah, Shotzzy just making some ridiculous plays in this. Every time I watch him play, look at this nice little grapple play. This I had no idea you could do, actually. Here, I forget what this map is called, but, like, he throws the plasma grenade just to bank the, like, the spanker rockets or whatever straight up to him. I thought that was next level, to be honest. But, yeah, I think Karma says in the background, like, yo, you're such a nerd for that, Shotzzy. But, I mean, yeah, this is just the type of time that these guys put into the game they play. And probably that's going to be pretty beneficial for this squad next season. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And have grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Bottom BR.
Oh, bro, bottom BR. On
Bottom,
camo. Camo's up. He's grabbing it, I think. My shots.
On A.
Oh my gosh.
Bottom C, left side. He's just staring at rockets. Oh, you're a nerd. Oh, you're a nerd.
You like that?
Oh.
You know me, I'm practicing my lineup every game.
One shot.